right now on BeachBytes.
How many Persona cards do you have for WWE 2k24? Comment down below your answer. The answer is always going to be not enough. And that brings us to today's topic. Was it clickbait for WWE to add Persona cards for WWE 2k24 in their My Faction mode? Was this such a great idea? Because it gave everybody everything that they wanted, so it looked like on paper. And no matter when you are watching this, the answer is always going to be the same. Were we clickbaited? Because it seems like the Persona cards are not enough, and I would really like to sit and discuss it and hear your thoughts on Persona cards in WWE 2k24 My Faction.
Revolutionize your experience with Hex Gaming premium custom controllers. Use code BEACH to save at checkout.
So this is your first time on the channel. How's it going? We cover everything in WWE 2k24. If you're into that kind of thing, hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on awesome content like this. Today we are talking about Persona cards for My Faction. And what Persona cards are supposed to be, if you don't know, is if you are going through My Faction and you're playing any other mode you can play in, you can unlock cards, of course, and once you unlock a card, some of them allegedly are supposed to be Persona cards. They'll have this logo on them here of the Persona card, and what that means is you can unlock them and use them in every game mode. If you want to use them in General Manager mode or your Universe or Exhibition, you can, and they are supposed to come with the retro attires. Everybody in the world, for logging in to My Faction and setting up the going through the tutorial and stuff, you should get a Sheamus Persona card, which will come with the old version of Sheamus's theme song, which is now his new version, but then his current version. It gets weird, but so you get the entrance and the theme song of the wrestler fully usable in the entire game for you, which is awesome. Here's the problem that I have with it, though, is there's not enough of them, and no matter what they do, the answer is going to be there is not enough of them. And the second problem is going to be, who are you going to add that is going to make me grind for them? If you were releasing a wrestler every week and we had a weekly tower that here's your Persona card for the week, that would work for me. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. And if you're thinking it's too many wrestlers, the lifespan of WWE 2k24 is going to be about 48 weeks this time, and just like it was for 23, and then we'll start talking about 2k25 and getting ready to play that. It's not even getting a full year turnaround this time between 22, 23, and now 24. 25 won't have that either. So that's adding 40 new wrestlers to the game, adding one a week, and giving you a reason to log into My Faction to actually mess with the Persona cards in the first place. I think it's crazy that we got all excited that everyone won with My Faction, and we didn't. We didn't win with My Faction. They told us what we wanted to hear, and they gave us a couple of things that work with My Faction. They gave us the Persona cards, which is cool, but there's not enough of them to go around. And it's pretty much, once you've gone through and beat everything, I don't know what to do. Like, at this point, it's like I'm waiting for my weekly towers and live events. If you've beat everything else, there's not a whole lot to grind for. And Persona cards is a great thing to grind for, but there need to be more of them, and they need to be unique. Sheamus is unique. A Shield Rollins is kind of unique. At least you get new entrance music, but that stuff is already in community creations for you to create. What they did last year, which everyone got so mad about, was they added models to the game that were not in the base game whatsoever, and completely different personas, not just different attires or different music, but completely different looks. We see this with, if you got the DLC for 23, you got Scott Steiners. They are in the base game this year. In 24, we still have the Steiner brothers, but they're the 90s version. In My Faction, they added Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. That needs to be a Persona card in 2k24, and it needs to be easily to access. They did this with Asuka. Asuka, they added the Royal Rumble version of Asuka into the game, but only in My Faction. And of course, they added Finn Balor into My Faction in 23. And of course, Finn Balor is still floating around in WWE 2k24, but we will get to that. But they need to be completely different personas. Give us the Oscars, give us the Scott Steiners. Let me know in the comments below who would be the one person that you would use for your persona card. Who would be that one guy that you're like, okay, I don't care about my faction, but I'm grinding because I gotta have him in the game. And I sat long and hard about this and thought, and it was great. And then I realized that there's no one in this game that I would really grind for, with the exception of DX. If you finally give me Shawn Michaels and Triple H's DX attires, and you give me the music, then yes, I would grind for DX. Put those in as persona cards. The problem that I found is that I am just grinding for music. Because if you put DX attires in the game, cool, I'm not going to grind for them. You put DX attires in with music and entrance, then I'll grind for them. But outside of that, I could not think off the top of my hat anyone else that I would just love to see added as a persona card. And let me know in the comment which one is yours. Which one would you go ahead and I will grind for 4 hours to get this wrestler in the game? I'm curious because DX is mine. I couldn't think of anybody else's that would really go along with it. But there needs to be more persona cards if this is going to be a feature. We're getting commercials for Seth Rollins coming to the game, or when they're dropping this into the game and when they're dropping that into the game. And it's awesome that they're putting all this behind it, but there is not enough. If we're only getting one persona card every DLC pack, then at the end of the year we had over 5,000 My Faction cards added to the game, and only 5 to 10 of them can be used in the rest of the game. It needs to be way more balanced than that. But that's what I think about My Faction. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about My Faction. And Ben Balor, do you know what is going on with Ben Balor? I have investigated Ben Balor, and I have been looking for the demon, and I found him. And if you want all of your questions about where is the demon Ben Balor in WWE 2k24, check out that video right there. And remember, make life your beach, and we'll see you on the next video.